Part 1. The cafeteria erupts in laughter when Brandon Ashford shoves Kylie Morrison into the salad bar at exactly 11:45 a.m. on a Tuesday. "Move it, scholarship trash!" he snarls, loud enough for the entire lunch crowd to hear. His Letterman jacket gleams under the fluorescent lights as 200 students pull out their phones. Kylie straightens, wiping ranch dressing from her blue cafeteria apron. She doesn't cry. She doesn't yell. She checks her watch, 11:46, and reaches for her order pad. That's when Brandon's fist connects with her face. "Take this, filthy waitress!" The crack echoes across the cafeteria. Kylie's head snaps back. Blood trickles from her nose as she stumbles against the condiment station. Brandon's friends, Jake and Destiny, are already recording, their laughter mixing with the crowd's gasps. But Kylie Morrison does something nobody expects. She smiles. Not a big smile, not a scared smile. A small, calculated smile that lasts exactly 2 seconds before she presses her hand to her bleeding nose and whispers something the cameras can't catch. Right on schedule. Brandon leans in, his breath hot with entitlement. "What did you just say?" Kylie looks up at him with eyes that should be filled with tears, but instead hold something else entirely. Something cold and precise that makes Brandon's smirk falter for just a moment. Her long orange hair, styled in 2 tight braids with a clean center part, falls forward as she tilts her head. Light freckles dust her cheeks, now splattered with drops of blood. Her green eyes remain steady. "I said thank you," Kylie replies softly, adjusting her light blue knit sweater beneath the apron. "In about 48 hours, you'll understand why." Nobody in that cafeteria knows what Kylie Morrison is really doing at Ridgemont High, but they're about to find out. Vice Principal Reeves pushes through the crowd within seconds, his face flushed. "Enough! Everyone back to your tables, now!" He grabs Brandon's arm, then looks at Kylie. "You, nurse's office. Brandon, Jake, Destiny, my office. Move." The crowd disperses slowly, phones still recording. Kylie walks calmly toward the exit, not touching her bleeding nose until she's out of sight. In the hallway, she pulls out her phone with her free hand and opens the camera. The timestamp reads 11:48 a.m. She takes 3 photos of her face from different angles. The blood, the swelling starting around her left eye, the split skin on her cheekbone. Perfect lighting, clear evidence. Then she deletes all 3 photos before reaching the nurse's office. Nurse Patterson rushes over with ice and gauze. "Oh, honey, let me see. What happened?" "I walked into a locker," Kylie says quietly, her voice steady despite the injury. "Clumsy me." The nurse frowns but doesn't push. She cleans the wound, applies butterfly bandages, hands Kylie an ice pack. "You should file a report if someone did this to you." "It was an accident," Kylie repeats. She sits perfectly still, watching the clock. 11:52 a.m. At 11:55, Principal Victoria Hewitt walks in. She's a woman in her mid-50s with sharp features and sharper eyes. "Miss Morrison, I'm so sorry about this unfortunate incident. Let's step into my office and discuss how we can handle this maturely." Kylie follows without a word. Principal Hewitt's office smells like vanilla air freshener and old books. The principal sits behind her mahogany desk and slides a pre-printed document across the surface. "I've already spoken with the other students involved. They claim it was a misunderstanding. Rough play that got out of hand. No malicious intent." Kylie looks at the document. Settlement agreement is printed at the top in bold letters. "You're a smart girl, Kylie," Hewitt continues, her voice dripping with false sympathy. "You know how these things can spiral. Police reports, lawsuits, media attention. It could damage everyone involved, including you. This agreement simply states that both parties agree to move forward without further action. You keep your cafeteria position, maintain your scholarship status, and we all put this behind us. Clean slate. Kylie picks up the pen. Where do I sign? Hewitt blinks, clearly surprised by the lack of resistance. Well, right here at the bottom. But perhaps you'd like to call your father first. Have him review. No need. Kylie signs her name in neat, precise handwriting. The timestamp on the document reads 12:03 p.m. Thank you for your professionalism, ma'am. I appreciate you handling this so quickly. She stands, still holding the ice pack to her face, and walks out. Hewitt and Vice Principal Reeves, who's been standing in the corner, exchange confused glances. Once outside the administrative building, Kylie pulls out her phone and opens her encrypted messaging app. She types quickly. Phase 1 complete. Assault on record. Settlement signed under duress. Evidence secured. Timeline proceeding. She hits send and walks back toward the cafeteria for her afternoon shift. By sixth period, the entire school has seen the video. It's been shared on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. Someone even uploaded it to YouTube with the caption, "Rich Kid Destroys Cafeteria Girl." Kylie sees students watching it on their phones in the hallways. They whisper when she passes, some laughing, others looking uncomfortable. She keeps her head down, her two orange braids swaying as she walks, and says nothing. In the locker room after school, Brandon celebrates with his crew. Jake Morrison, tall and lanky with his father's sharp jawline, reviews the assault video on his phone. Dude, you absolutely destroyed her. Look at her face. Destiny Park, daughter of the city's biggest real estate developer, sits on the bench looking less enthusiastic. She's scrolling through her own phone, reading comments. Some praise Brandon. Others call him a monster. She says nothing. Brandon uploads the video to a private group chat. The chat name is Elite 8. There are 8 members total. 7 have profile pictures. Brandon, Jake, Destiny, and 4 other Ridgemont students from wealthy families. The 8th account is labeled simply Admin. The profile picture is blank. Within seconds, Admin responds. Target neutralized. Good work. Next phase, make her quit by Friday. Use social pressure. We'll more physical contact for now. We don't need complications. Brandon types back. She didn't even fight back. This is going to be easier than the others. Admin. Don't underestimate anyone. Stick to the plan. Outside in the parking lot, Kylie stands near the gym entrance, half hidden behind a concrete pillar. She's holding her phone at an angle, using the zoom function to photograph everyone who enters and exits the locker room. She captures Brandon's face clearly. Jake's. Destiny's. 4 others she doesn't recognize yet. She notes the timestamps for each photo. Then she uploads everything to her cloud storage and deletes the local copies. Her phone buzzes. A message from an encrypted number. Received. Continue Phase 2. Federal Liaison Monitoring. Stay safe. Proud of you, Dad. Kylie pockets her phone and heads to her late afternoon cafeteria shift. The next day, Kylie arrives at school at 7:15 a.m. She goes directly to her locker. The door hangs open, bent at the hinges. Someone used a crowbar or similar tool to force it. Inside, everything is destroyed. Her textbooks are torn, pages scattered across the hallway floor. Her backpack has been slashed open with a knife. Permanent marker covers the inside of the locker door. Trash Waitress, in huge block letters. Students walking past slow down to stare. Some take pictures. Nobody offers to help. Kylie pulls out her phone and methodically photographs everything. The damaged locker from multiple angles, each torn textbook, the graffiti, the slashed backpack. She notes the timestamp, 7:17 a.m. Then she looks up at the ceiling. There's a security camera mounted in the corner, pointing directly at her locker. The small LED light on the camera is green, active. She gathers what she can salvage into her arms and heads to the library. By lunch, the rumors have started. Someone posts on the Ridgemont High Gossip Instagram account, "Cafeteria girl caught stealing food. Staff investigating." Another post claims Kylie isn't a legal resident. A third suggests her father isn't really in the military but fabricated his service record. None of it is true. All of it spreads like wildfire. Kylie screenshots every post from the school library computer. She uses a free screen recording tool to capture the Instagram stories before they disappear after 24 hours. She saves everything to a folder labeled Evidence Day 2 in her encrypted cloud drive. The metadata on each screenshot shows the username, timestamp, and IP address when available. She doesn't defend herself, doesn't post responses, doesn't even acknowledge the rumors exist. At her cafeteria shift that afternoon, students treat her differently. Some sneer, others won't make eye contact. A girl from her English class whispers loudly to her friend, "I heard she's here illegally. My dad says military families shouldn't get special treatment." Kylie serves food, cleans tables, washes dishes. She arrives 10 minutes early and stays 15 minutes late. She does her job perfectly, as always, but now she carries a small black notebook in her apron pocket. During her break, she sits in the storage room and writes. Dates, times, names of students who harassed her. Direct quotes when possible. She numbers each page and initials the bottom corner. On day 3, Brandon escalates. It's Thursday afternoon, 4:30 p.m., in the library. Kylie sits alone at a corner table, working on calculus homework. The library is nearly empty. Just her, the librarian at the front desk, and 2 students studying for midterms 3 tables away. Brandon walks in with Jake. They don't bother being subtle. They walk straight to Kylie's table. "What are you writing about us, scholarship rat?" Brandon leans over, grabbing the small black notebook from beside her textbook. Kylie doesn't try to stop him. She sits back, hands in her lap, and watches. Brandon flips through the pages. His smirk fades. This is just cafeteria schedules, homework assignments. He tears out several pages. Grocery lists? Are you serious? Please, give that back, Kylie says calmly. It's personal property. Oh, personal property. Brandon rips more pages, letting them flutter to the floor. Jake laughs. Stay in your lane, waitress? Kylie's voice drops, becoming colder. That's destruction of personal property. Virginia Code Section 18.2-137. Class 1, misdemeanor. But you already knew that, didn't you, Brandon? Since this is your 3rd strike this year. Brandon freezes mid-tier. How do you know about... I don't know anything, Kylie interrupts, her green eyes meeting his directly. I'm just a dumb cafeteria worker, right? She stands, leaving the torn notebook on the table, and walks out of the library. Behind her, Brandon stares at the scattered pages. Every single one is dated, time-stamped, written in identical, neat handwriting. This isn't random note-taking. This is systematic documentation. Jake picks up one page that fell near his foot. He reads aloud. School security cameras offline, log, November 3rd, November 8th, December 12th, February 6th, February 8th. Pattern, always during incidents involving TA, JM, DP, or BA. "Those are our initials," Jake whispers. "How does she know when the cameras were offline?" Brandon crumples the page. She's bluffing. She doesn't have anything real. But for the first time, he looks uncertain. That evening, Kylie sits in the Ridgemont High Library after hours. The librarian, Mrs. Chen, knows her as a dedicated student and lets her stay until closing at 8 p.m. Kylie isn't doing homework. She's going through the library's digital archives. Old yearbooks, newspaper clippings, school newsletters dating back 5 years. She creates a document on her laptop and starts listing names. Marcus Williams, junior, track star, scholarship student. According to a brief mention in the April newsletter 3 years ago, Marcus transferred to a school better suited to his needs after an unfortunate incident in the athletic facilities. No details provided. Aaliyah Chen, senior, valedictorian candidate. An old newspaper article from 2 years ago mentions she withdrew from Ridgemont after being accused of cheating on a final exam. The accusation was later proven false when a teacher found the original exam key had been stolen and planted in Aaliyah's locker. But by then, she'd already left the school. David Ruiz, sophomore. Debate team captain. Kylie finds his name in a school board meeting minutes document. His parents filed a complaint about hostile learning environment, but withdrew it 3 weeks later. David transferred out shortly after. 3 more names follow similar patterns. 6 total scholarship students in 2 years, all high-achieving, all involved in confrontations or incidents. All left Ridgemont suddenly, all signed settlements with the school. Kylie cross-references the dates. Every incident occurred during the same months, October through March, right before state funding audits and college application deadlines. She opens a new document and creates a timeline. Incidents on the left, administrative responses in the middle, outcomes on the right. Lines connect the dots. A pattern emerges. If you believe justice always finds a way, smash that like button and subscribe. We're about to show you what happens when someone underestimates the wrong quiet girl. You won't want to miss how this ends. Her phone buzzes. Unknown number. She opens the message. "You're digging in the right places. Be careful. A friend." Kylie deletes the message immediately. She saves her research to the encrypted cloud and clears her browser history. Then she notices something in the settlement documents she'd photographed from the administrative office bulletin board last week. All 6 settlements were processed by the same law firm, Morrison and Associates. Her last name. She pulls up the firm's website. It's a small practice in Richmond, Virginia, specializing in education law. The senior partner is Richard Morrison, her uncle, her father's brother. Kylie closes her laptop slowly. The connections are starting to make sense. The next afternoon, during 4th period gym class, Jake Morrison makes a mistake. He leaves his phone in his gym locker while running laps outside. The locker room is supposed to be empty, but Kylie volunteered to help Coach Reed organize equipment, a task that puts her near the lockers with 5 minutes of unsupervised access. She doesn't steal Jake's phone. That would be a crime. Instead, she stands at an angle where she can see his screen, which he left unlocked on the bench. The Elite 8 group chat is open. She takes one photograph of the screen with her own phone before Jake returns. Later, in the bathroom, she zooms in on the photo. The chat messages are clear. Admin. Target, Morrison. Goal, voluntary withdrawal by February 15th. Method, social isolation plus reputation destruction. Avoid physical contact after initial incident. Brandon. She's tougher than the others, not breaking. Admin. Increase pressure. Involve cafeteria supervisor. Make her work conditions unbearable. Destiny. This feels wrong. Marcus Williams ended up in therapy for 2 years after what we did. Admin. Stay on mission. You know what happens if you don't comply. Kylie studies the admin profile. The picture is blurred, but she can make out the edge of something. A Ridgemont High Staff ID badge on a lanyard. Not a student, an adult. She saves the photo to her evidence folder, labeled Elite 8 Chat, Proof of Adult Coordination. That evening, Kylie works her regular cafeteria shift from 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. At 6:45, her supervisor, Ms. Chen, calls her into the office. Ms. Chen is a nervous woman in her 40s who normally avoids confrontation. Tonight, she won't make eye contact. Kylie, we have a problem, Ms. Chen says, her hands shaking slightly. The register was short $87 yesterday. You were working the register during the evening shift. No, ma'am, Kylie responds calmly. I was on dish duty yesterday from 3 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Here's the schedule. She pulls out her phone and shows the official staff rotation posted in the employee portal. Ms. Chen's face flushes. The schedule was changed. You were moved to register duty. I have time-stamped photos from yesterday showing me at the dish station. Kylie opens her photo gallery. The images clearly show her washing dishes, with the wall clock visible in each shot. 3:05 p.m., 4:20 p.m., 6:15 p.m., 7:03 p.m. Would you like to see them? Ms. Chen stands abruptly. There must have been a mistake. Forget I mentioned it. Of course, ma'am. But Kylie notices Ms. Chen's hands are trembling as she leaves the office. After her shift ends, Kylie waits in the parking lot, sitting in her old Honda Civic 3 rows away from the staff entrance. At 8:45 p.m., Ms. Chen exits the building and hurries to her car. Once inside, she makes a phone call. Kylie can't hear the conversation, but she can see Ms. Chen's distressed expression through the windshield. Kylie uses her phone's telephoto lens to photograph the scene. In one shot, the reflection on Ms. Chen's car window shows her phone screen. The contact name reads AD, Work, Athletic Director, Coach Marcus Reed. Kylie uploads the photo and drives home. Her apartment is small, a 1-bedroom unit in a modest complex 15 minutes from school. The walls are decorated with military photos. One frame holds a picture of a man in Navy SEAL uniform, standing beside a younger Kylie, maybe 12 years old. The caption reads, Lieutenant Commander R. Morrison and daughter Kylie, Coronado, California. Kylie sits at her desk and opens her laptop. She accesses her cloud storage using military-grade encryption software, a program her father taught her to use years ago. The folder structure is organized like a military operation. Operation Clean Slate, Ridgemont Phase. Inside are subfolders: Evidence Physical Assault, Evidence Harassment, Evidence Admin Complicity, Evidence Financial, Witness Statements, Timeline, Legal Research. She uploads today's photos to the appropriate folders. Then she opens her secure messaging app and types, Dad, Evidence Secure, Timeline on Track. They're escalating as predicted. Phase 2 proceeding. The response comes within 30 seconds. Copy that. Federal Liaison standing by. Remember your training. Evidence first. Emotion never. Proud of you. Yeah? Kylie allows herself a small smile before returning to work. Drop a comment. What do you think Kylie's really planning? And who do you think trained her? Share your theories below. The next day is Friday. 4th period. Kylie is walking to her locker when Destiny Park appears beside her in an empty hallway. Destiny looks around nervously, making sure they're alone. "I need to tell you something," Destiny whispers, her voice shaking. We're not doing this because we want to." Kylie stops walking. She turns to face Destiny, her expression neutral. "Who's making you?" Destiny's eyes fill with tears. "Athletic Director Reed. Coach Reed. He has leverage on all of us. Brandon's dad covered up a DUI crash last year, but Reed has dashcam footage. Jake plagiarized an essay for a national competition. Reed knows and has proof. I faked community service hours for my college applications. Reed signed off on them, but kept copies of the real logs. And he's using this information to force you to bully scholarship students," Kylie says. It's not a question. "Yes." Destiny wipes her eyes. "He calls us to his office every Friday at 4 p.m. alone. He gives us targets, students he wants gone. If we don't comply, he says he'll expose us. Brandon would lose his college acceptances. Jake would face academic fraud charges. I'd lose my early decision to Northwestern. How many targets have there been?" 7, including you. Marcus Williams was the first I was involved with. He tried to hurt himself after what we did to him. Destiny is crying openly now. "I wanted to stop, but Reed said if I didn't finish the job with you, he'd make sure I never got into any college anywhere." Kylie's voice softens slightly. "Did you keep any messages from Reed? Screenshots? Anything?" "I was too scared, but I know his office computer password. He makes us report in person. No digital trail. But his calendar has all our Friday meetings marked, and I saw files in his cabinet labeled with the other students' names." "What time is your meeting today?" 4 p.m., like always." Kylie thinks for a moment. "Thank you for telling me this, Destiny. You did the right thing. I'm so sorry." Destiny's voice breaks. "I'm so sorry." "You can make it right," Kylie says quietly. "Starting today. When you go to that meeting, pay attention to everything. Where he keeps files, what's on his desk, what he says. Can you do that?" Destiny nods, wiping her face. "Good. I'll be in touch." At 3:50 p.m., Kylie volunteers to deliver gymnastics equipment to the athletic department storage room adjacent to Coach Reed's office. The student aide accepts gratefully. She has a test to study for and is happy to let someone else handle the grunt work. Kylie wheels a cart of equipment to the gym. Reed's office door is closed, but the lights are off. He's not there yet. She has approximately 10 minutes before the 4 p.m. meeting. She doesn't touch his computer, doesn't open his desk drawers. Instead, she uses her phone to photograph everything visible from the doorway where she's organizing equipment. The wall calendar shows Elite 8 marked every Friday at 4 p.m. for the past 6 months. On his desk, partially visible under a coffee mug, is a printed email. She zooms in with her camera. The sender is Principal Hewitt. The subject line reads, "March Targets." The filing cabinet in the corner has a label system. Student Files AM, Student Files NZ, Settlements, Donor Relations. On top of the cabinet sits a ledger, the old-fashioned kind with handwritten entries. Kylie adjusts her angle and zooms her camera to maximum. The visible page shows entries. Williams, Marcus, withdrawal Feb 20XX, bonus, $10,000, source, RHS Donor Fund, Ashford. Chen, Aaliyah, withdrawal May 20XX, bonus, $10,000, source, RHS Donor Fund, Ashford. 4 more names follow the same pattern. Kylie hears footsteps in the hallway. She quickly finishes arranging the equipment and leaves through the side door, looking like she's just completing her assigned task. Reed enters his office 30 seconds later. none the wiser. That evening, Kylie returns to her apartment. She uploads all the photos to her encrypted drive. Then she sits back and stares at her evidence map on the laptop screen. It's not random bullying. It's a systematic operation. Coach Marcus Reed identifies high-achieving scholarship students who might threaten the school's elite reputation or demographic balance. He blackmails wealthy students into bullying the targets until they withdraw. For each successful withdrawal, Reed receives a $10,000 bonus from a donor fund managed by Thomas Ashford, Brandon's father, who sits on the school board. Principal Hewitt coordinates the whole thing, ensuring incidents are covered up and settlements are processed quickly through the same law firm. The scholarship students leave. The school's metrics stay favorable for state funding and private donations. Everyone profits, except the victims. Kylie's hands clench into fists. Then she forces herself to breathe slowly, the way her father taught her. Evidence first, emotion never. She opens her secure messaging app. Federal case ready. Pattern established. Financial fraud confirmed. Multiple witnesses available. Recommend moving to Phase 3. Her father's response. Confirmed. Federal warrants being processed. I'm wheels up in 48 hours. Assembly still Friday? Kylie. Affirmative. 2 p.m. See you there, Dad. She closes her laptop and looks at the photo on her wall. Her father in his SEAL uniform, standing proud, teaching his daughter to be strong. Almost done, Dad, she whispers. Almost done. But that night, everything changes. Kylie wakes at 2:30 a.m. to the sound of her apartment door opening. She sits up immediately, adrenaline spiking. The lock wasn't broken. Someone picked it professionally and quietly. She grabs her phone from the nightstand and dials 911. But before she can hit send, she hears footsteps retreating. A car engine starts outside. By the time she reaches the window, taillights are disappearing down the street. She turns on every light in the apartment. The damage is strategic. Her laptop, gone. Her tablet, gone. The external backup drive she kept on her desk, gone. The black notebook from the library incident, gone. But the TV is still there. The cash she left on the kitchen counter, untouched. Her mother's ring on the bathroom sink, still there. This wasn't a robbery. This was a targeted retrieval. On her bathroom mirror, written in red lipstick, drop it or disappear like the others. Kylie calls the police. They arrive 20 minutes later, take her statement, dust for fingerprints, photograph the scene. The officers are professional, but not hopeful. Probably kids looking for quick electronics to sell, one says. We'll file the report, but honestly, recovery rate is low. They leave at 4:15 a.m. Kylie waits until their patrol car disappears. Then she walks to her bedroom, kneels beside her bed, and pries up a loose floorboard. Underneath is a second laptop, wrapped in a waterproof bag. She boots it up. Every single piece of evidence is there, synced from the cloud. The break-in took nothing that mattered. She opens her messaging app. They took the bait devices, real evidence secure. They're panicking. Time to move, her father responds immediately, despite the early hour. Federal warrants approved. I'm wheels up in 2 hours. 48 hours until assembly. Kylie. Affirmative. See you Friday, Dad. She allows herself a smile. They've made their move. Now she'll make hers. This is going to be one assembly Ridgemont High will never forget. Friday morning arrives with unexpected sunshine. Kylie Morrison walks into Ridgemont High at 7:30 a.m., her long orange hair styled in 2 tight braids as always, her light blue knit sweater visible beneath her cafeteria apron. The split on her cheekbone from Tuesday's assault has scabbed over. Light freckles dust her face, and her green eyes are calm, focused. At 7:45, the announcement comes over the PA system. Principal Hewitt's voice echoes through every classroom and hallway. Attention students and faculty! Mandatory assembly today at 2 p.m. in the main gymnasium. All students must attend. This concerns an important matter of school spirit and community values. Thank you. Students groan. Teachers exchange glances. Nobody likes surprise assemblies on a Friday afternoon. But Kylie Morrison checks her watch and nods once. Right on schedule. During lunch, she sits alone in the cafeteria, not working today, just eating a packed sandwich from home. She wears something different around her neck now, visible outside her sweater for the first time. A military dog tag on a silver chain. Students notice, but say nothing. At 1:45 p.m., Kylie goes to the bathroom. She looks at herself in the mirror, takes a slow breath. Then she reaches into her backpack and pulls out a small, encrypted USB drive. She slides it into her jeans pocket. In her other pocket, she carries printed documents in a sealed envelope. Backup, in case digital fails. Her phone buzzes. A message from her father. Federal liaison confirmed. FBI Field Office Richmond notified. Department of Education OCR standing by. I'll be there. She types back, "See you soon, Dad." At 1:55 p.m., she's walking toward the gym when Brandon Ashford appears in the hallway. He's alone, which is unusual. His Letterman jacket hangs on his shoulders, but his usual swagger is gone. He looks tired, scared even. "Kylie," he says, stepping in front of her. "Don't go to the assembly." "Please." She stops, studying his face. "Why not?" Reed's planning something public. He wants to humiliate you in front of everyone, so you'll leave the school. I heard him talking to Hewitt this morning. They have edited videos, fake evidence. They're going to accuse you of stealing, vandalism, everything. They're going to destroy you. "I know," Kylie says calmly. Brandon blinks. "You know? Then why are you walking into it?" "Because I'm ready," she replies. "And thank you for telling me, Brandon. That took courage." "I'm sorry," he says suddenly, his voice cracking. "For all of it. For hitting you. For the videos. For everything. Reed threatened my family. My dad would lose everything if that DUI footage went public, but that's not an excuse. I hurt you." "I'm sorry." Kylie's expression softens slightly. "You'll have a chance to make it right, Brandon. Today, 2 p.m. Be ready." She walks past him toward the gym. The gymnasium is packed. 500 students fill the bleachers on both sides. Faculty members line the back wall. Principal Hewitt stands at a podium on the gym floor, a projection screen lowered behind her. Vice Principal Reeves operates the laptop connected to the projector. Kylie enters and finds a seat in the middle section. Students around her whisper, point. Some hold up their phones, already recording. The energy in the room feels electric, predatory. They smell blood. At exactly 2 p.m., Principal Hewitt taps the microphone. "Thank you all for being here. We gather today to address a serious matter that affects our entire community. Academic integrity, respect for school property, and the values that make Ridgemont High an institution of excellence." The lights dim. The projection screen flickers to life. What plays next is a masterpiece of deceptive editing. Security footage shows Kylie near the cafeteria register. Timestamp altered to show her working register duty when she was actually on dish duty. The video cuts to shots of the cash drawer being opened, then closed. Another cut shows money missing from the end-of-shift count. The next clip shows Kylie's locker vandalism, but the footage is reversed, making it look like she destroyed her own property for sympathy. The final segment shows the cafeteria assault, but key frames are removed. Brandon's punch is edited out. What remains shows Kylie stumbling backward, then smiling. The narrative is clear. She staged everything. Gasps ripple through the gym. Students pull out their phones. Hundreds of recording lights dot the bleachers like stars. "Miss Morrison," Principal Hewitt says, her voice projecting across the silent gym. "Please stand." Kylie stands slowly. Her two orange braids frame her face. Her green eyes scan the room calmly. She clasps her hands in front of her, waiting. "We've conducted a thorough investigation," Hewitt continues. "The evidence is clear. You have systematically attempted to defraud this institution through false accusations, staged incidents, and theft. We're offering you a choice. Withdraw from Ridgemont today with a neutral transcript, or face expulsion and criminal charges for fraud and theft." The gym erupts in whispers. Some students shout, "Liar!" Others record eagerly, sensing viral content. Brandon Ashford, sitting 3 rows back, looks sick. Jake Morrison stares at his shoes. Destiny Park is crying silently. Coach Marcus Reed stands against the back wall, arms crossed, a small smile on his face. Kylie Morrison walks to the center of the gym floor. She stands beneath the basketball hoop, facing the bleachers. 500 students watch. 50 faculty members watch. Every phone is recording. She speaks clearly. No microphone needed. Her voice carries. "Before I respond, I have one question. How many of you recorded what just happened?" Hundreds of hands rise. Phones are held high. Kylie nods. "Good, because in about 90 seconds you're all going to be witnesses to something important." Principal Hewitt frowns. "Miss Morrison, you need to—" The gymnasium doors open. The sound echoes like thunder in the sudden silence. A man in full Navy SEAL dress uniform walks in. The uniform is crisp, dark, authoritative. Lieutenant Commander rank insignia gleam on his shoulders. His chest displays rows of ribbons and medals earned over 20 years of service. The Navy SEAL trident pin, the symbol of the most elite warriors in the military, catches the gym lights and glints gold. He's followed by 2 people in dark suits with FBI badges clipped to their belts. Behind them, a woman in business attire carries a briefcase labeled Department of Education, Office for Civil Rights. The entire gymnasium goes silent. 500 students freeze. 50 teachers stand straighter. Principal Hewitt's face drains of color. The SEAL walks with purpose, his boots echoing on the hardwood floor. He doesn't speak. Doesn't need to. His presence alone commands the room. He walks to the center of the gym and stands beside Kylie Morrison. He doesn't touch her. Doesn't speak. Just stands there. A wall of authority and consequence. Students start whispering frantically. "Is that her dad? That's a Navy SEAL. Holy cow! Those are FBI agents. Are we in trouble?" Brandon Ashford leans toward Jake and whispers, horror in his voice. "That's Lieutenant Commander Morrison. That's her dad." Principal Hewitt tries to recover. "This is a closed school event. You can't just—" One of the FBI agents steps forward, holding up his badge. "Special Agent Rodriguez, FBI Richmond Field Office. This facility receives Federal Department of Defense funding for military-connected families under the Interstate Compact on educational opportunity for military children. That makes certain activities conducted here subject to federal jurisdiction. We have warrants." He produces a folder of documents. Vice Principal Reeves takes them with shaking hands. Hit subscribe if you believe justice always finds a way. Next episode reveals an even bigger conspiracy. You need to see this. Kylie's father stands beside her, silent, his uniform speaking louder than words. But he's not here to speak. He's here to witness, because what happens next belongs to his daughter. Kylie addresses the assembly. Her voice is steady, clear, devastating. My name is Kylie Morrison. 6 weeks ago, I transferred to Ridgemont High School, not for a fresh start, for a mission. The gym is absolutely silent. 2 years ago, my brother attended this school. His name was Connor Morrison. He was a sophomore, scholarship student, military kid. He was smart, kind. He wanted to be an engineer. Her voice doesn't waver, but her hands grip the dog tag around her neck. Connor was bullied by a group at this school. Different members than today's Elite Eight, but the same system. He tried to report it to the administration. He was ignored. The bullying escalated. Social media attacks, physical intimidation, sabotage of his schoolwork. It went on for 5 months. Some students in the bleachers are crying. Others record with trembling hands. On March 4th, 2 years ago, my brother walked to the train tracks 3 miles from this school. He stepped in front of the 4:15 p.m. southbound train. He was 15 years old. Gasps echo through the gym. Teachers cover their mouths. Principal Hewitt grips the podium. His suicide note was 11 pages long. It mentioned names. It mentioned a coach who threatened him when he tried to report the bullying. It mentioned a system that protected rich kids and sacrificed scholarship students. Kylie pulls the USB drive from her pocket and holds it up. My father was deployed when it happened. Navy SEAL overseas mission. When he came home 3 weeks later, his son was already buried. The school had already settled with my mother for $15,000 and a non-disclosure agreement. Case closed. Connor's name erased from school records. Problem solved. Her green eyes sweep the bleachers. But NDAs don't cover federal crimes. She raises the USB drive higher. For 6 weeks, I have documented everything that happens at this school. I documented my own assault on Tuesday, February 9th, at 11:46 a.m. in the cafeteria. I documented the settlement agreement I signed under duress, while still a minor without parental consent, which makes it legally void. I documented systematic harassment, vandalism, and reputation destruction carried out by 8 students who are being blackmailed by adults. Destiny Park stands up in the bleachers, tears streaming down her face. It's true. Coach Reed forced us. He has dirt on all of us. He threatened to destroy our futures if we didn't bully the scholarship kids. Jake Morrison stands too, his voice shaking. He made us do it. We're not innocent, but he controlled everything. Brandon Ashford rises slowly. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about your brother. I'm so sorry about what we did to you. Kylie continues, her voice growing stronger. This USB drive contains encrypted group chat logs showing an adult administrator directing bullying campaigns. Financial records proving athletic director Marcus Reed received $10,000 bonuses for each scholarship student who withdrew from Ridgemont. Settlement patterns for 7 students over 2 years, all processed through the same law firm to avoid scrutiny. Proof of evidence tampering, including security camera systems being disabled during incidents. Witness statements from current and former students, and video evidence of today's attempted expulsion based on fraudulent, edited footage. Coach Reed tries to move toward the exit. The two FBI agents step in front of the doors. "I didn't need my dad to save me," Kylie says, looking at her father briefly. "I needed him as a federal witness, because the moment Brandon Ashford assaulted me in a school receiving Department of Defense funding, federal assault statutes were triggered. Everything after that was building a case." The Department of Education investigator steps forward. "Effective immediately, Ridgemont High School is under federal investigation for Title IX violations, systematic harassment of protected students, fraudulent use of federal education funds, and conspiracy to deprive students of their civil rights. All settlement agreements signed in the past 5 years are under review and may be voided." Special Agent Rodriguez addresses Coach Reed directly. "Marcus Reed, you're under arrest for wire fraud, conspiracy, blackmail, and contributing to the endangerment of a minor." Two agents move forward with handcuffs. Reed backs against the wall. "This is nonsense. You can't prove. We have your ledger," the agent says calmly. "The one in your office showing $10,000 payments for each student withdrawal. We have your emails with Principal Hewitt coordinating target selection. We have testimony from 8 students you blackmailed. We have bank records showing deposits from the Ashford Family Donor Fund to your personal account." The handcuffs click shut. Students gasp, record, whisper frantically. Principal Hewitt tries to leave through the side door. Vice Principal Reeves blocks her path. "Don't," he says quietly. "Just don't." The Department of Education investigator approaches Hewitt. "Principal Hewitt, you're being placed on immediate administrative leave pending investigation. Federal charges are being prepared." This story is sponsored by Coursera. Whether you're learning legal rights or building tech skills, knowledge is power. Start your free trial today. The next hour is chaos. FBI agents escort Reed out of the building. Principal Hewitt is removed from campus. Thomas Ashford, Brandon's father, arrives with lawyers and is served with a federal subpoena for the donor fund records. The 8 members of Elite 8 are taken to separate rooms for interviews. Destiny Park provides screenshots she'd hidden on a cloud account, proof of Reed's threats. Jake Morrison gives a full statement about the blackmail system. Brandon Ashford, with his father's lawyers present, admits to assault and agrees to cooperate fully with investigators. Students file out of the gym slowly, many still recording, many in tears. Some approach Kylie to apologize. Others just stare, processing what they witnessed. By 4 p.m., the gym is nearly empty. Kylie sits on the bleachers with her father beside her. He still hasn't spoken much, just stood as witness, as support, as the final proof that she wasn't alone. "You did good, kid," he says quietly. "Your brother would be proud." Kylie leans against his shoulder. "I miss him, Dad." "Me too." 3 months pass. Coach Marcus Reed is sentenced to 8 years in federal prison for wire fraud, conspiracy, and multiple counts of contributing to the endangerment of minors. Principal Victoria Hewitt loses her teaching license permanently. She receives 2 years probation and is banned from working in education. Thomas Ashford is fined $250,000 and resigns from the school board. The Ashford Family Donor Fund is dissolved, and remaining money is distributed to scholarship programs. Of the Elite 8 students, 3 are expelled for their direct involvement in assaults. 4 receive probation, mandatory counseling, and community service. Brandon Ashford is expelled and placed in a juvenile accountability program. He writes personal apology letters to every scholarship student who left Ridgemont in the past 3 years. The federal investigation expands to 12 schools across the district. 4 more administrators are charged. 23 families of former students receive settlements averaging $75,000 each. Ridgemont High installs a new oversight system with independent monitors, mandatory reporting protocols, and a student advocacy board that includes military family representatives. Kylie Morrison receives a full 4-year scholarship to any Virginia State University from a military family advocacy organization. She also receives funding for therapy and support services. She continues working in the cafeteria, but now nobody bothers her. Some students even ask to sit with her at lunch, wanting to hear her story, wanting to understand how she stayed strong. One afternoon in late May, Kylie sits in her apartment finishing homework. Her laptop is open to her email. She's about to close it when a new message arrives. The sender is listed as encrypted message, classification, confidential. The email address is shepherdsecure.net. Subject line, an Operation Clean Slate, Phase 2. Kylie's hand hovers over the mouse. She clicks. The message reads, Kylie Morrison, your work at Ridgemont High was exceptional, disciplined, strategic, effective. You exposed a systematic abuse network that had operated for 5 years. But I need you to understand something important. Ridgemont was not unique. It was one cell in a much larger network. We have identified 23 schools across 4 states, Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina, and Tennessee, operating identical systems. Athletic departments, wealthy donor boards, blackmailed student enforcers, financial incentives for pushing out scholarship students and maintaining elite demographics. Some have been running for over a decade. Your brother was not the only victim. There are dozens, maybe hundreds. We're tracking the connections now. Interstate coordination, shared legal firms processing settlements, donor networks moving money across state lines. This is bigger than one school. Much bigger. I'm reaching out because your operational discipline caught the attention of people who work in the shadows to fix broken systems. Federal agencies, civil rights organizations, people who can't operate publicly but can support someone like you. Someone with personal motivation, someone with training, someone who knows how to build a case. I'm attaching a preliminary investigation map. Encrypted. Your father will know how to access it. Look it over, then decide. Are you interested in Phase 2? The choice is yours. No pressure. But if you're ready to honor your brother by making sure no other military kid suffers what he did, we could use someone like you. Call sign, Shepherd. Attached to the email is an encrypted file. Kylie downloads it, enters the military-grade decryption key her father taught her years ago. A map appears. 23 schools highlighted across 4 states. Lines connect them, showing shared board members, shared law firms, shared athletic conference networks. Some schools have red markers, confirmed, financial incentive system in place. Others have yellow markers. Suspected, pattern analysis ongoing. One has a black marker in Tennessee. Critical, 2 student deaths in past 18 months. Kylie stares at the screen for a long moment. Her father enters the apartment. He sets down groceries, then sees her expression. What's wrong? She turns the laptop toward him. He reads the email, studies the map. His jaw tightens. That's a big mission, kid, he says finally. You sure you're ready? Kylie looks at the photo on her wall. Connor Morrison, age 14, smiling in his Ridgemont debate team uniform. Her younger brother, who never got to be 15, never got to graduate, never got justice. She looks back at her father. I wasn't ready 2 years ago when Connor needed me. But you trained me for this, Dad. You showed me how to turn grief into purpose, how to build cases, how to fight smart instead of angry. She touches the dog tag around her neck. Connor's dog tag. The one the military gave him through the Young Marines program. No one else is losing a brother on my watch, she says firmly. Her father nods slowly. Pride and sadness mix in his expression. Then, I'm with you. Whatever you need. Kylie turns back to her laptop. She opens a reply to Shepard's email. She types, "Count me in. When do we start?" She attaches her Ridgemont evidence files as a resume of sorts, proof she can execute long-term operations, maintain operational security, and deliver results. She hits send. The response comes back in under 1 minute. "Welcome to the team, Morrison. First briefing. 72 hours, secure location. Your father will receive coordinates. Prepare for a long fight. But we're going to win. For Connor. For Marcus Williams. For every kid who thought the system failed them." Shepard out. Kylie closes her laptop. She stands and walks to the window. Outside, the sun is setting over Ridgemont, painting the sky orange and gold. Somewhere in Virginia, 23 schools continue operating. Somewhere, wealthy families are protecting reputations at the cost of vulnerable students. Somewhere, another scholarship kid is being targeted, bullied, pushed out. But not for long, because Kylie Morrison isn't just a cafeteria worker anymore. She's not just a survivor. She's an operator, trained by a Navy SEAL, motivated by love for her brother, armed with evidence, federal connections, and an unshakable sense of justice. Operation Clean Slate is just beginning, and this time, she's not working alone. Her father stands beside her at the window. "You know this won't be easy," he says. 23 schools, hundreds of powerful people. They'll fight back." Kylie's green eyes reflect the sunset. Her 2 orange braids catch the light. She touches Connor's dog tag one more time. "Let them fight," she says quietly. "I learned from the best. And I've got something they'll never have." "What's that?" "Nothing left to lose, and everything to fight for." Her phone buzzes. A final message from Shepard. "One more thing. You're not the only Morrison working this mission. Check the team roster when you arrive. You'll recognize some names. Your family has a history of fighting for what's right. Connor would be proud. See you in 72 hours. Kylie shows her father the message. He reads it, then smiles. The first real smile she's seen from him in 2 years. "Your Uncle Richard," he says, "the lawyer. He's been working this from the legal side for years." "Uncle Rick? The one who processed all those settlements?" "He processed them because he was documenting everything, building a pattern, waiting for someone to bring him the evidence to take it federal. You just gave him exactly what he needed." Kylie feels something unfamiliar bloom in her chest. Hope. Real, solid hope. Connor's death wasn't meaningless. Her pain wasn't wasted. The mission she started alone is becoming something bigger. A network of people who care, who fight, who refuse to let the system crush the vulnerable. She looks at her father. 72 hours. Think we can be ready? He puts his hand on her shoulder. "Kid, we were born ready." Outside, the sun finishes setting. Darkness falls over Ridgemont. But somewhere in that darkness, justice is preparing to strike. 23 schools, dozens of conspirators, hundreds of victims waiting for someone to care. One girl with orange braids and a Navy SEAL's training. One mission, clean slate. This is only the beginning.
The story ends here, but there are many more videos waiting for you. So, if you enjoy, please take a moment to like, subscribe to the Wrong Target Story channel, and don't forget to turn on the bell. See you in the next story.